Hello ladies, welcome back to the Creative Being Woman. And so if you're new here, well, you're just in time. So on this part of the internet, on this corner of the internet, we keep things real about freelancing, remote work, and balancing life for Nigerian women. And if you're a guy, feel free to pull a chair and eavesdrop on the conversation. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about how to get clients excited to work with you. So we're not just talking about how to find clients, but okay, so you have found the clients. How do you get them excited to work with you, or how do you keep them excited to work with you? And in turn, let this now lead to recurring work. We'll be talking about that in this video. So I have 5 tips to share with you. The first tip is quality. Do quality work. You cannot, say you want to attract top-tier clients or keep your clients or keep them happy to work with you if you do low quality work. Like I would always say, it's better that you under-promise and over-deliver. But then when I mean under-promise, I don't mean doing the barest minimum. I mean the fact that you already meet expectations, but then over-delivering in such a way that sometimes you just push and just go a little extra mile. So the most important thing that the client wants you to do is the fact that you do your work well. You don't give them subpar work. So do what it is that you need to do to ensure that you're doing your work well. I know that there are many tools these days that can help you do your work, faster, easier, but don't do too much of shortcuts. Always think about the fact that when you're doing your work, whether you use productivity tools or not, maybe like AI or whatever, you always take the time to still go through to QA to ensure that as much as possible you can get your clients, that if your clients don't even do any last minute checks on the work you've done for them, it's going to be quality. Always think of, okay, if this was me, like if I was the client, like if this was me and I want this to be done well, what are the things I would check out for? What are the things that will matter? Just this little mindset change that you have for each project that you work on can actually, be the game changer. I remember when I was working on a particular job for a client, a new client, and when I was done working on it, it was good enough for me to just turn in, but for some reason I said, okay, I was going to spend a little more time, so I sacrificed a few more hours to perfect the little things, to do a bit more research, to ensure that the work was very good quality. And so when I turned it into the client was blown away. They were so blown away that they didn't only just give me a good testimonial, I got referrals just from doing that. So anytime such a client comes to me, like I'm able to keep them like in my bank of past clients that will always refer to me. They would always know that when it comes to Blessing, she will always deliver good quality work and go the extra mile when she can. The next thing is be a good communicator. Communication is almost everything. It's practically everything. Like without being a good communicator, sometimes it might not matter if you're the best in the world on the particular skill. Why? Because if you're a good communicator, you'll be able to be clear on the important things that your clients need to know. You need to be clear on your deadlines. You need to be clear on, on the deliverables, what the client is going to get. So you don't just assume that the client knows that, oh, it's going to take this number of days for this job to be done. You have to be clear. You have to be specific. If the client tells you, okay, can this be done in the next 48 hours? You don't say yes if you are not sure. Even if you are sure and you say yes, I would always say it's good to add in a little buffer because time happens. So you can say, oh yeah, I would do my best to have this delivered within 48 hours, just like it is like standard procedure. But just in case, maybe if that can happen, I will ensure to let you know beforehand. Just being a good communicator in that way just sets expectations, and that's very good. Another reason why you have to be a good communicator is so that even when you have set a deadline, don't just ghost. Maybe you told your client that, okay, today is Monday, your work is going to be ready by Friday. That doesn't mean you have to wait till Friday before you send the next message or email to your clients. So maybe Wednesday, you can just send like a check-in email and say, oh, hi Mark, or hi Chinaza, I just want to let you know that this is how far the project is going, we're in this progress. Sometimes just that little check-in, just that little note can actually make you stand out, because it shows that you care and you're giving them the updates that they need to know. So there was a time that I remember I was working on a project for a client, and the project was supposed to take like 2 weeks, like 10 working days. And on the 6th day, the client reached out and was like, oh, how is this going? That I know you said this was going to take like 10 working days, but I haven't heard anything. And I really felt bad at that point. And since then, anytime that I know that something's going to take like a couple more days, or it's going to take a little bit of a stretch, I would always follow up with update, just to give the client like some kind of peace of mind, just to know that, okay, this is still going to be delivered at the deadline. And sometimes when possible, I try to deliver it before the deadline, just to get them more impressed. And back to point one, good quality work, no rush for. The next thing is, don't be afraid to suggest new ideas. Like, it shouldn't just be about, well, they paid me for this thing, and I'm going to do what they paid me for. I'm not going to stress myself. It's not my business. No. Many times you won't go far with that kind of attitude. When you get a job, you get a client, sometimes or many times I would advise that try and get to know a little more about the client's industry, get to know maybe what is trending, what is not trending, what is probably looking like might trend, or what is coming in future for that kind of business, that kind of industry. When you get to learn a little about this, it will help you not only do better work depending on the kind of service you're giving the client. You might even come across like some ideas that maybe the client has not thought of, maybe because of their busy schedule you have not thought of, and you can propose that idea, and that just helps them know that, okay, she doesn't just know what she should do, she's also quite interested in the success of this business, the success of what she's doing for us. And just that little touch, just that little extra research that you can do can really take your work from just being, okay, she just does what she's being paid for, from meh to wow, great. And you also need to know that sometimes people don't really know what they need. A client can just tell you, I need this, because maybe they saw their competitor do it and they feel they should do it too, or someone told them that it's going to be nice and they feel they should do it too. And then you are the expert, like you should be the expert at what you do, you know good better about it, and you can tell them, okay, this thing is great, it's good, but maybe for your brand you need to do it another way, maybe you need to do it like this, or you don't even need this, there's something else you need. Like, just that extra expertise that you are giving doesn't just look like you're just a seller that they just give you money and it's just transactional. Like, you just go beyond the transactional relationship to actually build a relationship with your client, showing that you care about their success, not just about the money that they pay you. And that can get people excited to work with you and get more referrals your way. Then offer special treatments to loyal clients when possible. When I mean special treatment, I mean maybe a client is always hiring you for a job back to back. It gets to some time that you can make this client feel special, that they know that whenever they come to you, they get priority level on your schedule. So I have some clients that, because of the working relationship we've had over the years, whenever they come with me, I am willing to move things around in my schedule just to accommodate their requests. And so sometimes they have this feeling like they're like my only clients, even when they know they're not my only clients, just because of that extra exclusivity and that extra level of priority I give them just for being loyal to me. And of course, I get it in return. They prioritize me, I prioritize them. That's it. And then finally, understand their needs. And this is almost like similar to what I mentioned earlier about, make sure you suggest ideas. Like, prioritize the needs that the client has, and you can be able to even prioritize the needs that I've not even told you about. Like, you can even be like a detective to say, okay, this particular thing that the client came to me for, maybe there are other things the client should think about based on the past work I've done for clients similar to them. I'm going to give you an example. So there was a time that this female online entrepreneur hired me to help her with her marketing funnel. It sounds like a big word, but if you don't know what a marketing funnel is, you can Google it, but it just has to do with all the things that happen during a sale process, especially an online sale process technically. So she needed me to help her with it, but she really didn't even know all the things that needed to be done. So she had an idea or something, but she didn't know all. So based on the experience I had from working with like a similar entrepreneur like her, I was able to offer her like more ideas. So some needs that she didn't even know that she needed, I was able to let her know that, oh, you actually need this and this. And that just gave her like this kind of relief that, okay, I know my stuff. I know what I'm saying. I have the results to prove it from someone that I've worked for, and some new, ideas that I propose to her based on research. I thought, okay, based on research that I made, this is what this will do for you. And that was just it. Because at the end of the day, that even got me more work from her, because I was just only meant to do one thing for a marketing funnel, and that was all. But I gave her like an all-encompassing solution. That's something that she wanted to only hire me for like a month to work for. I ended up working with her for like a year. You see? Okay, so these are the 5 tips I have for you to get clients excited to work with you, for you to keep clients working with you longer, and for you to gain referrals from clients. Because there's nothing sweeter than referrals. There's nothing sweeter than referrals. Like, it just gets you into the door faster when someone who has worked with you can speak to someone else to hire you based on that experience. That is something that is still working for me today, and I'm getting to enjoy it. And I just said, okay, you know what? I can't keep on this. I have to tell you this. If you're not already, considering these 5 extra things that you can be doing besides just having the skill and being good at it, you need these things. Okay, all right, so let's just in the comments let me know if there are more tips that you have. I also want to learn as well, and if you have questions, leave them in the comments. I'll see you in the next video. Bye girls, don't forget to subscribe.